It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I've not reviewed a Vocation beer for a while, quite some time actually, but a beer launched in Tesco's recently that actually grabbed my attention, and I actually thought, ooh, this could be really good. I really like the cherry sour that they launched into Sainsbury's about 3 or 4 months ago. That was quite a decent beer from Vocation. I quite like that one. But there's been other beers from Vocation which I've not liked so much, like some of the celebration beers that they brought out. I think for me, on a personal level, that was a bit of a low point for Vocation. They were like so blooming sweet and sickly. I found them almost impossible to drink. So, but then in the past, love and hate. For me, love and hate. Now I found out love and hate now is available in Waitrose, 440 milliliter cans, and that's a great beer. That's a great beer. And I wondered if it's gone into Waitrose because to produce a beer like that, of that quality, it might have to go in at a slightly higher price point. And, well, let's be honest, it's Waitrose, isn't it? People with a little bit of money shop in Waitrose. So perhaps there's that kind of headroom, there's that margin to sell love and hate in Waitrose and make a decent profit on it. But anyway, we're here to show you the DoppelGanger here. This is a double dry hop IPA, 6.7% ABV, brewed with Simcoe and Mosaic, 440 milliliter can. And this, off the top of my head, it cost me in the region of £3.50, £4 for a can of this beer. When you buy a beer in the supermarket, you put, especially me as a beer reviewer, I just go and I haven't had that one, and I'm just chucking it in the trolley, and I'm not necessarily looking at the price, but I believe it's about £3.50 for this one. DoppelGanger got a certain German vibe about it. When I first seen this advertised, I thought, ooh, Vocation are going to be brewing something fantastic and German, and maybe like a Weiss beer or something really interesting. But it's a double dry hopped IPA. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. This is probably no coincidence whatsoever that it's a double dry hopped IPA. If you want to look to blame anybody that Vocation have brought out a double dry hopped IPA, and there's yet another IPA in Tesco, then blame the supermarket beer buyer. I've had a long conversation recently with a brewery that sells a lot of beer in the supermarket, and the conversation we had was, it's not really our fault if a supermarket beer buyer wants to order yet another IPA from us and put in a big order. So I feel like Vocation are probably in the same situation really, where the supermarket beer buyer goes, oh, can you brew a double dry hopped IPA? And we'll order 500,000 cans or whatever, and they're like, who's going to say no to that? Who's going to say no to that? We'll talk about that a little bit later on. We got a one finger whitehead on the beer. Good levels of carbonation. It's a hazy, straw coloured beer. Not much in the way of sediment in the bottom of the glass. Yeah, but this is typical supermarket looking IPA. Let's get the aroma. It smells interesting though. It does smell interesting. Does it smell like every other IPA in a supermarket recently? Have you noticed that? They all seem to smell the same these days. Maybe, but I do feel that this is a little different. I do feel that this is a slightly different recipe. This has got more kind of horsepower to it. This kind of reminds me of Tiny Rebel's Hadouken IPA. Smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, I'm tasting it. Oh, this is a difficult one because I feel like I'm like raking you guys over hot coals again. I feel like I'm like saying the same thing over and over again. These beers are all tasting the same at this point. All of these beers from all of these different breweries that are putting double dry hopped IPAs or New England IPAs or IPAs into supermarkets in a 440 milliliter can at about 5 or 6% ABV. I reckon if you bought 5 of those beers poured from different breweries, buy 5 from 5 different breweries from the supermarket and poured out each one into a glass and tasted each one very quickly together, you probably wouldn't be able to taste the difference between each beer. Even the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel tastes exactly the same as every other supermarket beer. It's almost as if hands are tied at this point. Hands are tied at this point, and it's almost as if the supermarkets at this point are offering out the recipe and they're saying you need to brew this at this specification and at this hop rate and make it super soft. And it's almost as if these breweries are really tied now. They're like almost to the point where there's no wriggle room. There's no individual brilliance. And this is what craft beer was all about. Craft beer was about individual brilliance. It was one brewer over another doing absolutely great things, and maybe having one IPA from a brewery 5 years ago, and having another brewery from an IPA from a brewery 5 years ago, was like not completely different. I know, because it's malt, hops, yeast, and water, but at least there was a different variety of flavors. This stuff here just tastes. This could be from any other brewery that brews supermarket IPA, and it's a real shame. It's a real shame. So what am I tasting? It's just super soft. It's super slick. There's a little bit of carbonation, and there's lots of concentrated hop oils or whatever they've chose to use in the beer. It tastes like a very quick flavour of mango, pineapple, orange peel, fleshy blood orange, but all crammed together, all kind of like force fitted together. There's no like, oh, there's a bit of orange over there, oh, there's a bit of pineapple over there. A couple of seconds later, oh, there's a bit of grapefruit down here. It's all just crammed in flavour, like. Well, I can't see a future in it. I cannot see in 5 years' time a future in this style of IPA. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. The 20-somethings of the world, people who've just turned 21, 18, 21, old enough to drink, they might be buying this by the absolute bucket load. They might be. And at that age, they're not supposed to understand variations of flavour, and that just happens when you get a little bit older and a little bit wiser in life. They're probably just buying this alcohol pop just to you know, hey, this one's 6.7 and it's £4. 3 cans, job done. Yeah, this is unfortunately same old supermarket IPA. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.